Hey guys, what's up? Alec back with the daily stock market, and today we're going to do the favorite video on the channel. It's Sunday Stock Talk, but obviously it was pushed to Monday because the markets were closed today, so I didn't want to do it on Sunday because I always like to do it the night before the stock market opens, so that way you're prepared for the new trading day and the new trading week ahead. So with that being said, we're going to be talking about different stocks that you should have on your watch list. We're going to go over price alerts, price points, where I'm buying, where I'm selling, just like how you guys always love. In the last 3 months, we're up $10,000. In the last year, we're up $23,000 or 80%. So if you want to join and follow along my journey to $100,000 on the public account, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube for the full-length videos. We also have over $200,000 total across all my accounts in the stock market. So if you want to join me on my total journey to 1 million, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Yes, I have a lot of other accounts, like my Fidelity account is one of my larger accounts that I have, Webull account, Coinbase account, Vanguard account, Voyager account, Coinbase Pro account, and a Binance account also. And I also have an SEP IRA on M1 Finance. So I have a lot of different accounts, probably like 8 or 10 different accounts. Okay, so the first one on the list is XOM. Exxon Mobil, or oil. You know, if you're going to consider oil, this is one of the top oil stocks, up 10% in the last 3 months, up 41% in the last year. So that's a huge gain for oil, keep in mind. But if you pull up the 5-year chart, remember they fell off a cliff basically because of the whole pandemic. They were at an average of $70 a share. They fell off a cliff and went all the way down to about $34 a few times. In my opinion, I'm not going to buy now. I'm going to at least wait for around $50 to $45 per share to get back into Exxon Mobil. I think that's a great price point. Overall, you can see, though, they're trending downward. So they're not going to be probably a good long-term hold, especially because oil is becoming a thing of the past. And renewable energy is really what Joe Biden's focusing on for the next 4 years. We can continue to see the downtrend happening. So I would probably honestly want to buy closer to $35 a share to $45 a share. And I think it can definitely get to that price rate also. Now, the good thing about the downtrend that ExxonMobil's having is you see they have peaks and valleys still. So they dip very hard, very fast. So we will see another dip again in them. They dip very hard, very fast, and then they slowly climb back up and recover most of their earnings or most of their losses. Sometimes they don't recover all of it. That's why, there's an overall, in the last 4 years, they have an overall percentage decrease of around 25%, which is a very important thing to note. So with this one, you definitely want to make sure you are selling closer to the 52-week highs and buying closer to the 52-week lows. And don't get caught up in some of the hype that is going around oil right now, because I think, even though there is a lot of good articles on oil right now, you can kind of read some of these. There is even a good one that I read about Warren Buffett and how he was buying some oil right now. Personally, I'm going to wait a little bit until the shares drop to that price range that I was talking about. Okay, so let's talk about Tesla. Tesla's to 677. On the channel, we were just talking not long ago. We're talking about buying the dip if it was under $600. And if you bought that dip, you're currently up around 10% or even more than that, right? I'm up around 7%. My average cost was $631, but I was buying a little bit higher too. So a lot of you guys had a nice opportunity to buy under $600. In my opinion, it probably will go to like $575, $580 again. There's no guarantees it will. But in the long term, I think it's just going to keep going, and we're going to see that $800 mark pretty soon. I think in the next 6 to 12 months, we can see the $800 mark again, $850, or even new all-time highs. And that would be a nice little swing trade if you bought under $600. However, Tesla is a great long-term hold, and that's really what you should be doing with Tesla, is holding for long-term. I have 3.5 shares at a market value of $2,500. It's only 4% of my portfolio diversity, so we're trying to add more stock to Tesla consistently, they actually are one I should probably set up for a reoccurring buy and just dollar cost average in like $3 to $5 per day, just to ensure that I get that exposure to Tesla over the long term. Because sometimes you always wait and you're like, oh, I'm going to buy under $600. And then unfortunately, the stock never gets that low again, and you completely miss buying out on that position. So dollar cost averaging when you're in that situation can sometimes be the best effect. All right, let's give a CCIV update. A lot of people wanted me to talk about CCIV, so here it is on the video today. Same with the other ones we talked about, Exxon and Tesla. Everyone wanted me to talk about those. So CCIV up 12% on the month, and in the last 3 months, they're up 10%. You know, this is one that I was actively buying right around $24. I made a few videos about it. We have 54 shares, market value of around $1,500, and we're up around 10%. Okay, I think it's still a pretty good time to buy, although what I really want you guys to consider with this one is risk. The risk is higher than an average stock on this one, and there's a high probability that it can go to around 22 or even under $20 again. So you have to be prepared for that, because what's happening, if you guys didn't know, is Churchill Capital, CCIV, they're going to be switching to Lucid Motors soon, and Lucid Motors is pushing, they're basically like a Tesla competitor. They're an American luxury EV company and electric vehicle company. And what's happening is they were supposed to actually start production, and they pushed it back till after summer. And this got a lot of people spooked out, freaked out. Also, a lot of hype died down, which caused them to crash very hard. And now they are starting to come back a little bit. Now they're probably at a fair value, so it's really a 50-50 if it's going to go back down to around $20 a share. But in my personal opinion, I think they will hit around like 32 or even like $35 a share once the CCIV actually goes to Lucid Motors. But obviously that hasn't, like, it has been confirmed, but it's not been, no action has been taken. It's still CCIV, it's still Churchill Capital, which is concerning for some people. So if that ends up falling through, which in my personal opinion, I don't think it will fall through, but if, you know, Lucid Motors doesn't decide to merge with CCIV, then we can see some issues around the stock falling even below $20 a share. I don't think that'll happen. I think that it will turn into Lucid Motors, and we'll see the stock go to around $35 a share once that happens, or even higher. But there is a lot of risk with this one. All right, now a lot of people wanted me to talk about NIO. They're saying, should I buy? Should I sell? What's up? NIO's up 21% in the last month. They're wondering if they should take profits. Personally, I have been taking profits. I'm up 25% on NIO. We have 23 shares, about $1,100. We had a lot more also. You can see all the profits I've been taking, over $1,000 in profits, and there's more than this that I have been taking also. So I've been trimming profits here and there. Still have 23 shares left, but I want to sell a majority of my shares around $55 or $60 a share. I think that NIO can go to new all-time highs again. They're going to be one of the leading EV, electric vehicle makers and manufacturers in China. And China, remember, is the biggest EV player in the space. So China is going to be very dominant. NIO can absolutely take off. I know for a long time they were doing SUVs and not sedans, or regular cars or anything like that. So now that they're transitioning and actually making cars, manufacturing cars, and they're delivering more numbers, like if you look at the deliveries on NIO, for example, they've absolutely exploded. If you guys want some homework tonight, that's actually a good assignment, is look at the deliveries in the past 12 and then 24 months on NIO, and look at how, the upward trajectory is so exponential. And that's why I was so confident in buying NIO around $35 a share, or even $40 a share. You can see my average cost is around $40 a share, even though we were buying a little bit lower also. So they're a great long-term hold. I'll probably be holding for a super long time. But in my opinion, I think they can go to like $45 or $40 a share again. Remember, they were just at $45 a share not long ago. So in my opinion, $45 a share is a great entry point if you plan on holding for at least 1 to 2 years or even longer. All right, so next one up, we have GM. In my opinion, it's very overvalued. I think I would even consider doing a put option on GM. They're at $60 a share. In my opinion, they can go easily back down to $50 a share, or maybe even a little bit lower, like $45 a share. But in my opinion, I think they'll definitely at least go down to $55 to $50 a share. They shot up like an arrow very recently. Wow, look at that, up 251%. They're an auto manufacturer, General Motors, and now they're looking to transition to electric vehicles. Their market cap is around $92 billion, which is huge, and their PE ratio is very attractive to me, however, and it's 9.5, and they have a dividend yield too. So they are a pretty desirable stock, but in my opinion, they'll go to $45 to $50 a share. So that's really where I'm trying to get in for GM, and they're also a long-term hold, by the way. You can read some of these articles if you have Robinhood. You know, they were talking about GM a little bit. You can actually see, and Exxon Mobil. You can actually see, I actually posted this on my Instagram, discusses why technical charts last week suggested that shares of Exxon Mobil were ready to head higher. This after news of rival abandoning a joint venture. Okay, one strategist expects GM to trend higher in the second half of 2021 for 6 reasons. So says Adam Ickert. And you can actually read that if you want to just type that in, why Jim Alethanol thinks GM will reach an all-time high this year. You can actually read that full article. You know, so General Motors sold 600,000 vehicles in the U.S. in the second quarter, representing a 40% year-over-year increase, which is absolutely huge. Remember, I told you this is a longer-term hold. Consumers' demand for vehicle is also strong, but concentrated by very tight inventories. We expect continued higher demand in the second half of the year and into 2022, okay? And that's what this chief economics over at GM actually said, okay? And then you can actually read why it matters. So, and then you can actually read those bullet points. I won't read them for you if you want to pause. So it's a very interesting stock. Delivery is up 40%, but that still doesn't justify the stock being up 251% and over 127% year over year. You know, if they were up 40, you know, their sales are up 40% year over year. If their stock was up 43% year over year, they're an average price of $37 a share. So keep that in mind. That's why I think that they are a little bit overvalued, because they're up 127% in the last year, 227% from all-time lows, and their sales are only up 40%. And the real question is, can they continue to keep that up year over year for the next 5 years? All right, so that was 5 stocks to have on your watch list. I hope you guys liked those picks. Now, if you stay till the end, I got some awesome cryptocurrency to talk about. Let's talk about some cryptocurrency, give an update on my opinion on cryptocurrency. And then tomorrow, I'm going to actually put 5 more super spicy stocks on a video. So make sure you are subscribed so you get those hot stocks straight to your news feed on YouTube. And we'll talk about 5 more stocks. So just like how I typically do it when these videos end up being a little bit longer, I don't want to drag a video on too long. So this will be part 1. And then tomorrow, I'm going to add 5 more stocks, and we're going to do part 2 to this video and talk about 5 more stocks, totaling 10 stocks total. All right? So now let's talk about cryptocurrency. So first up, everyone wants me to talk about ETC. So let's talk about it. Now, it's down 15% in the last month, and it cratered all the way down to $36, 43% down on June 21st. So that's very interesting, because remember, they were up to $150 a share. The question is, can they get up there again? I think they'll definitely at least get to around 80 to 90 is pretty realistic to me, or at least 75, right? Now, this is an extremely, extremely risky play, so I want to stress that out to you. If you're afraid of losing money, or if you can't afford losing money in the short term, this isn't not going to be the best play for you, because it could definitely go down in the short term back to around $35 a share. Ideally, that's where I would prefer to buy in, right around $35 a share. I have about $500 into them at an average cost of $55, just because I believe in them in the longer term, that they will get to around $75 to $90 per coin is a strong possibility. Ethereum Classic, this is a cryptocurrency. Sometimes I accidentally say shares because I'm so used to talking about stocks when I should be saying coins instead. But I hope you guys understand and always know what I'm talking about. Most people understand what's a cryptocurrency and what's not, just because on Robinhood I only talk about the main ones like Ethereum Classic, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. So let's talk about Dogecoin next. I think they're getting to a point where you want to start buying. Well, at least I'm personally going to start buying a little bit more. I have an average cost of 20 cents, and we have about $1,200 in them. We're up 11%, and I think that this one can easily get to 40 cents again and possibly even back to 50 to 60 cents. Might take a little bit of time, and remember, again, the risk is extreme on this one. So make sure you keep that in mind. Just because I'm saying that, in my opinion, I think it can go up to 40 cents to 50 cents to 60 cents again, doesn't mean it's going to happen. There's a very strong possibility, in my opinion, that it can even go back to 15 cents and as low as 5 cents. Okay, so if you're not a risky investor and you prefer to wait around, this one can be a good one to put a price alert right around 15 cents or anything below 20 cents, because that's when Dogecoin starts to get a lot more attractive, in my opinion, in the buying aspect of it. Because if you get in at 15 cents, that way you can sell it when it hits 30 cents. I think it can easily go from 15 to 30 cents very easy, and you can make 100% return, right? So it is a little bit more risky, but it fluctuates so much that if you're able to kind of see the patterns in Dogecoin, you're able to make some pretty good money by swing trading it, because you can understand when it's going to dip and when it's going to go down, because Dogecoin is one of those coins that rapidly fluctuates, and I think they're going to hit a big upward tick again, obviously like 45 or 60 cents like we talked about. All right, guys, so I hope you did enjoy the video. I hope you had an awesome 4th of July. The markets are obviously closed on Monday when we're filming and you guys are watching this. Tuesday, they open back up, so let's have a killer stock market. To all my close friends, I'll be posting, of course, every single day on the close friends list what I'm buying, what I'm selling. So if you want access to all my trades, message me on Instagram and I would be more than happy to help you out. We have part 2 of this video tomorrow, so make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. And if you've already watched a few videos of mine, just go ahead and subscribe. It's absolutely free, and you can always unsubscribe at any time you want. But as you can see, in the last 3 months and the last year, we've had massive success. We've had hundreds of students, actually now thousands of students. So if you want to see some positive testimonials also of people making money, check out my Instagram and you'll see success number 3, success number 2, success stories. Go ahead and read through some of those. DM me on Instagram and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Beginners are welcome too, so don't feel like you're too much of a beginner. It's actually developed for people who are a little bit more experienced so they can learn the stock market the right way the first time through. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe for the video tomorrow. It's going to be part 2 of this one. 5 more stocks, and we're going to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum at the end of that video too, with post notifications on. And share this with a friend if you think they'll find some value in it. Make sure you smash a thumbs up if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember, don't time the market, buy the market. Peace.